everybody, welcome to Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. Now Pocono is a NASCAR course, so there's a lot of NASCAR references all over this course. It's located in eastern Pennsylvania, about 20 miles from the Jersey border. And here's the track layout. Now, there's a lot of different track configurations here. The general public does not go on the regular NASCAR track, so we're doing what's called the north-south track, which is marked here. Now this course is at just under 2,000 feet elevation, which is enough to have some impact on engine performance. So let's take a run around this course. We're starting in the pit area at the lower flat edge, and we're approaching the first dot on the left-hand side there. That's turn 1. Now we're going off the main track into the infield here. We're hitting turn number 2. Now we're hitting a sharp left-hand turn that's almost a full 180 degrees. That's a very tough turn. Coming around into turn 4, we're approaching an infield straightaway, which is a passing zone. It's marked in green, which are all the passing zones. We're coming to turn 5 here. This is another very sharp turn, almost 180 degrees. And now we're approaching turn 6, which is pretty much the hardest turn on the track because it's very bumpy and very rough. And now we're on the main track. This is the only turn of the main track that this configuration allows for. It is very fast down this back straight. This is where you get your most speed. But now we turn off into turn 8. And we go back on the infield. Now we're crossing all these other different roads here that are all different track configurations, and that makes for a pretty bumpy ride on these infield stretches. Just to turn 9, now this is turn 10, we're getting back on the main outer loop. And this is the front straight. This is where the normal finish line is. And that's pretty much it. It's a 2.2 mile round trip. So let's do run 1 here. There were 4 different runs. This is the first run. We're going out onto the track. They line us up. And then we get to take off.
Let's go!
Now on the screen here, these are engine statistics. In the lower center is this pad, which shows the G's that I'm pulling around the corners and acceleration and braking. Now the first 4 laps of this first run were under a yellow flag, so I'm going to skip through all that. This is closer towards the end of the first lap. I've got this Camaro running behind me. He was sticking with me good in the turns, as expected. Now here we're approaching turn 6, where you go back onto the back stretch. And I did a lot of that today. A lot of that little spin out, trying to accelerate around some of these turns. But here you can see me pulling away pretty convincingly from this Camaro on the straight. So this is a little bit later in the first run. I've got a black BMW M5 behind me. Again, sticking with me through the turns, but here when you see we get back on the main course here, you give them that Hellcat power and then you just pretty much pull away. Jump back straight here, and I let the black M5 pass. And they're definitely fast cars. Not as fast as the Hellcat in the straights, but faster in the turns. Back onto the infield. Alright, so we're going to jump ahead to run 2 here. Now, one thing that was interesting in run two is look behind me. I've got this Viper here. I was really looking forward to doing a lot of running with this guy when I saw him behind me. But unfortunately, when we take off, he lags back, never catches up to me through the turns, and I never saw him again. So I was really kind of bummed that, I really wanted to see how the Hellcat did against the Viper, both in the turns as well as in the streets. So here we're moving forward again, and I run into this grocery getter. I don't know what this guy was doing on the track in this car, but it's the same guy that was at Watkins Glen, for those of you that saw that video. At least he's got good track etiquette, because he lets me pass right away here. It's funny what some people will bring to the track. So now here I've got red BMW. This was not an M Series car. He was fast in the turns, but had no power in the straights at all. I'm pretty sure it was a four-cylinder. So here we are in the northwest turn area again. We get a pretty good rear spin out here. Was able to correct it though. Had a lot of problems with spin out on this track. Just because there were so many sharp turns and a lot of bumpiness too. So, red BMW pass. He was a good driver, just really had no power on the straightaways. I got this Subaru STI coming up behind me. But we get that on the straights there, and pretty much leave the Subaru in the dust, and I gain back up on the BMW. He waved me on here, which again is good track etiquette, but I had just let him pass, so I chose not to pass him again. There's no points. So this was a little bit later. I had one of my worst spinouts of the day here. Didn't totally get sideways, but definitely had some kick out on the rear end there. So let's jump ahead to the third session. This was nice because I had the pole position, and I had a lot of time here to explore the track on my own without any cars around me. It's very hard with cars that are around you to really concentrate on your driving, because you're just so aware of. So you might notice how I don't accelerate around this corner, and that's because the G's pushing you up into the wall there are just really high. If I was to accelerate all the way around that corner, I would have hit the wall. It's very deceiving when you see it. But so coming up behind me is this white Porsche, and this was actually a GT3, which some have called the ultimate track car. So here I'm thinking I'm going to give them some of the Hellcat business when we get on the straightaway here. But I was sadly mistaken. This guy is riding right up my ass the whole time I'm accelerating. I might have even been slowing him down for all I know. Very fast car. Here I end up letting them pass on the infield passing zone. And I'm hoping I might be able to keep up with them when we get here on the back straight. But as I said previously, I couldn't accelerate around this turn without going into the wall. He was probably accelerating right now. So as soon as we get back on the infield here, I lose sight of it. So this next series is with this blue Mustang GT. Had some fun with him for a few laps. Unfortunately, this guy in this car wouldn't allow us to pass right away, so we had to brake our acceleration. Finally, he let us go. And then we go through the S's, we get back on the front straight, but we lose acceleration again because we have to pass these Mazdas. Fortunately, we both got by him. When we get to the infield passing area, I let him pass. So I want to see how I do against him on the straight when I'm behind him. We got this little blue Mazda behind us, but we lose him pretty quickly in the straight here. End up gaining on this on the GT. He was pretty fast, this GT. Definitely faster in the corners. And had pretty good power on the straights. So now this behind me now is a Nissan GTR. I thought this guy was going to be riding up my ass on the straights. He was faster in the turns, as most cars are. But here we're about to get on the front straight. Pull away from him pretty convincingly. And I mean, this is basically like doing a 40 to 100 pull. He drops back pretty quick. So here we are on the final run. Got this black Porsche in front of me, and a blue STI behind me. And finally, this guy in his car learns how to get people passed by right away. So this picture is where I got the highest speed of the day. My highest lap time was 1 minute 50 seconds, but the highest speed I got right up here. If you look at the speedometer in the lower left-hand corner, boom, 142.3. That was my fastest time of the day. On the front straight, I could get into the low 120s, but the back, I was able to get over 140 a couple times. So this is towards the end of the final run. I'm pretty tired here. The tires are really worn out. I have a really bad spin out here. Didn't go all the way around. The flagman's right there on the right looking at me. I didn't go on the grass, and I didn't totally spin out. If I did, I would have had to go into the pits. But really had a lot of problems with spin out on this course. It was just so bumpy, a lot of transitions. I don't think I will come back to this course unless they open up a couple more of the turns, or at least one more of the main track turns. And they do have a configuration like that, so I just got to keep my eye out for that configuration. But it's all a learning experience. I do need to get some better tires. Get some real race tires instead of the performance summer tires I'm running. But thanks for coming along, guys.